Hello, today I will be telling you a short story about something that happened to me when I was 12 years old. So on this particular weekend, me and my sister, who is about 2 years older than me, we decided to go with my dad to his workplace. And at his workplace, they had a bunch of land and they had a bunch of golf carts and four-wheelers and all of that. And it was a dairy farm. And we decided to go for a little ride on one of the four-wheelers. And it was me and my sister, and I was the driver. Anyway, so she seen something on the ground and she got off to pick it up. And I thought that was a perfect time to play a little joke on her and act as if I was going to leave her there. So I started doing circles around her and just laughing and having a good time, and she was getting more and more upset that I wouldn't let her back on the four-wheeler. So she picked up a handful of mud and she threw it right at my face. And all of that mud and sand got all in my eyes and I couldn't see anything. And instead of my initial reaction being to hit the brakes, I instead swerved into a ditch, and the four-wheeler we flipped over. Me and the four-wheeler flipped over inside of the ditch, and the four-wheeler landed in such a perfect position to where the back end and the front of the four-wheeler, it was vertically aligned on top of the ditch, and I was underneath it inside of the ditch. And I got up and I was having sharp pains in the back of my head. So I remember I just got up and I ran like to the office where my dad was having a meeting with his coworkers and his boss. And I remember just crying and telling him what happened and that I needed to go to the hospital because I was having sharp pains in the back of my head. So he did that. So we went to the hospital and my mother met up with us there, and they took me inside of this room where they had these big machines in there, and they proceeded to do a CT scan on me to make sure that I didn't have any fractures or I didn't have any concussions or anything. And I remember just being so intrigued by all of these big machines and asking the CT tech like what that they were able to see inside of like my skull. Like I thought it was so cool, and I kept asking her so many questions. I'm pretty sure I was getting annoying, but anyway, so everything turned out fine. There was nothing wrong, thankfully. I walked away with no scratches, and whenever we left the hospital, I remember telling my mom that I wanted to be that when I got older, and she was like, well, you want to be what? And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do the CT scans on other people. And she told me, oh, you have a long ways to go for that. But now that I'm all grown up and I'm older, that's what I'm pursuing now. I want to do MRI and CT, radiology, all of that good stuff. And yeah, that is my story, and thank you for listening.